can't say it on the air. That's how livid I am about the whole thing.
Homeowners furious over rising HOA costs. Why they say they're being left in the dark as fees jump 75%.
Some worry the transit improvement plan will only worsen the issues.
And WeGo riders afraid to get on the bus. What they want to see from the mayor's office.
Small business owners fighting to keep their doors open after their landlord lands in hot water. The continued fallout. Fox 17 News at 9 starts now.
Middle Tennessee's only primetime news. This is Fox 17 News at 9, your Code Red station.
I can't say it on the air. That's how livid I am about the whole thing.
Tracking the economy tonight, some homeowners in Antioch are furious because they say their HOA, the Homeowners Association fees, went up 75% in the past 7 months.
And they say that they are not being told why. Fox 17 News' Caitlin Miller joining us live from the state capitol after these homeowners seek help from state lawmakers. Caitlin.
Yes, well, we spoke with some homeowners today who say that they went to state representatives to help them get transparency with their HOA. Now, they say that no action was taken, but they also say that this isn't going to stop them from fighting for change.
I've got some documents for it, too.
A group of homeowners at Lenox Creekside Condominium in Antioch are furious about their HOA fees.
The beginning of 2023, I believe it was $145. It is now $255.
Bill Bartolovich says it's impossible to get answers from the HOA board about why fees are rising.
The thing that's frustrating me the most is there is no financial visibility from the board.
Homeowner Michael McLendon adds they just want to know where their money is going.
Follow standard protocol that most HOAs in any community is going to follow, which is providing a detailed income statement, detailed balance sheet, and a cash disbursements journal.
This is Caitlin calling from Fox 17 News. Fox 17 News reached out to the HOA board president of their complex to see what he has to say about this, but we have not heard back yet. Another big concern for these homeowners is they say there hasn't been an election for the board in the last 8 years. So homeowner Tammy Duval explains every board member has been selected by the president.
There's just no trust anymore, and it has driven people out. And the HOA fees, I know of people right now that have had to take second jobs because of how high the HOA fees are.
Duval adds they're denying homeowners voices by not following annual meetings of members by allowing 3 dates to obtain a quorum. So they feel they're not being treated fairly. And again, we are still waiting to hear back from the board president to see what he has to say about this issue. But for now, homeowners say that they're going to continue to fight until their voices are heard. Reporting live from downtown, I'm Caitlin Miller, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Continuing coverage now of issues surrounding Plaza Mariachi. The South Nashville business is facing foreclosure tonight, and its owner is facing criminal charges. Tonight, tenants are searching for answers. Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar live in South Nashville, where business owners say they're losing money because of the owner's problems.
That's right. The co-owners of Strikeout Wings right here behind me at Plaza Mariachi tell me that they are losing money because of the actions of the owner of Plaza Mariachi. And as you mentioned, Plaza Mariachi is in jeopardy of foreclosure. The co-owners of this business behind me tell me that it has hurt them and others in this big complex.
It's not like it used to be.
Shinar Tucker and her husband feel overwhelmed at the restaurant Strikeout Wings at Plaza Mariachi, where she says there are barely any customers.
My sales have dropped 20 to 30,000 a month, and my rent is extremely high.
A stark difference to what she initially saw when she fought to make it successful during the pandemic.
We are pandemic babies. We came about during the pandemic, so, I mean, nothing is going to stop us because we made it through there, but this is a huge concern.
She says the concern comes from her sales dropping by the thousands weekly.
Well, we have a lot of frustrations.
She says losing money is because of the owner of Plaza Mariachi's problems. first indicted on federal charges of bank fraud, the feds charging him with defrauding banks of $24 million by falsifying assets.
Put a stain on this business, on the Plaza Mariachi when his case came out.
Now his business is set to be sold during a foreclosure sale in 2 weeks. It might seem like the problem belongs to the owner of Plaza Mariachi, but his tenants are wondering, what will they do if it has to close?
Everything has froze. Everything has froze. Everything. We don't know what to do, honestly. We don't know what's going to happen.
I emailed him and asked him if he plans to stay open. He said he'll be releasing a press release in 2 weeks to update everyone on their, quote, arrangement discussions.
We don't want to keep moving, locations, but at the end of the day, if we have to keep moving, it's okay. God always got our back, but we can't continue doing this.
Everyone is holding their breath until July the 2nd, the date that Plaza Mariachi is set to foreclose. The co-owners of Strikeout Wings behind me tell me they're worried about what their future may hold. Reporting live here in South Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Well, a new survey from the Travelers Institute found nearly half of the Nashville businesses and organizations that they surveyed had fallen victim to a cyber attack. The Federal Trade Commission says theft of digital information is the most commonly reported fraud, and cyber criminals regularly target smaller businesses because they often do not have the resources to defend themselves against ransomware. The best advice for those companies is to come up with a prevention plan now.
You need to make electronic as well as physical copies, right? So if you don't have access to your computer system during a breach, you want an actual paper copy of what the plan is, and you don't want to have to rely on someone's memories. Who are the key players that need to be on the table? Literally, what are their phone numbers? If we can't get into our computer, how do I reach this person?
Experts also say to back up your data, keep one backup file off-site and another one offline. Well, Kearney, who you just heard from there, says if you have a copy of your information stored off-site, if your physical location suffers damage, you'll still have access by storing a copy of your info offline. It prevents hackers from getting access.
Also in Operation Crime and Justice, tonight Metro Police are asking for the public's help to identify the driver in a deadly hit and run from the weekend. Happened on Saturday night around 9. Police say 47-year-old Renee Chakal was crossing East Thompson Lane at Lawndale Drive when a white minivan hit and killed him. Police say it's a Dodge Caravan with the driver's side headlight that doesn't work. Those pictures show what the van looks like. If you know anything about this minivan, the driver, or that accident, you are urged to call Metro Police.
All right, a few pop-up showers, hit or miss in the mid-state here.
Kind of depends, yeah. If you had it, you were lucky. You had a little relief from the heat. And if you didn't, you were baking this afternoon. It has been quite warm. We hit 93 this afternoon, and unfortunately, we're not going to see any relief from the heat here for the week. We are still looking at some showers this evening, those mainly in West Tennessee, sort of riding the Tennessee River, if you will, and we'll continue to see maybe another hour or two before these thunderstorms decide to taper off and go to bed. A lot of these are driven by the afternoon sunshine, so they are the storms that could here as it continue this evening, but I do expect them to continue to quiet down as we head through the evening hours for tonight. A little closer in, you can see some decent lightning, a lot of heavy rain with these showers as they move more towards Decaturville and Parsons. And again, over the course of the next 24, even 48 hours, we'll continue to see at least a stray shower chance. And these are the types of storms we will see, mainly non-severe, producing heavy wind, or I should say heavy rain, and some gusts of wind. The storms will continue to taper off this evening. We do stay warm, a mild and muggy night ahead with temperatures near record lows by tomorrow morning. So a very warm evening here. We're still sitting in those mid 80s to lower 80s, and we'll look at a mostly cloudy skies as we go through much of the evening. That's going to trap a lot of the heat in that we had for today, and it gives us these morning lows that are quite uncomfortable, I would say, mid to lower 70s area wide. We'll talk more about the heat that is trending for the week ahead. Unfortunately, no relief on the way, and we'll have a look at when we might see a few showers moving in. That's all coming up in your Fox 17 Code Red forecast. Scott.
Katie, thank you. Looking for the leak, the very latest in the court fight to make the Covenant school shooting.
Nearly 22 million children living in America rely on schools for their meals. Fox 17 News and our parent company, Sinclair Broadcasting, are partnering with Feed America for the Sinclair Cares Summer Hunger Relief Program. You can donate by scanning the QR code on your screen or go to sinclaircares.com.
Continuing coverage tonight on the legal battle over the Covenant school shooters' writings. Several groups are suing to make those writings public.
Well, the online publication, the Tennessee Star, which is part of the lawsuit, recently posted contents of those journals. That led to the judge calling an emergency hearing today. Fox 17 News' Amanda Chin bringing us up to speed.
It was a packed courtroom with the chancellor telling those involved she wanted to get everyone's input on how to move forward. But it's left some with more questions than answers. The lawsuit comes down to one question. Will the chancellor allow the shooter's writings to be released under the state's public records law? But now, with the Tennessee Star publishing some leaked contents of the shooter's writings, it's led to other questions. The Tennessee Star is one of several organizations suing for access to the Covenant documents. After learning of the leak, the chancellor called a hearing to ask the Tennessee Star why their work does not violate the orders of the court, putting them at risk of contempt.
I don't want reporters going to jail for doing lawful reporting. That's why we were here today. That's what we were concerned about.
All of the petitioners, Metro Legal, and attorneys representing the Covenant school, parents, and church agreed the chancellor should still make a decision on the release of the documents.
I don't know what we were doing here, and I don't know why we had to come in today.
Metro Legal clarified that all of the contents they've seen published so far are correct and authentic, although many writings have not yet been released. Lieutenant Alfredo Arevalo with Metro Police entered an order into this court filing, claiming he handed a hard drive with the Covenant investigative file to the Office of Professional Accountability Lieutenant Garrett Davidson to store in a safe. The lieutenant claims Davidson, who does not work for the department anymore, was the only person at the time who had the key and combination to a locked safe. Attorneys for Metro suggested making Davidson an involuntary plaintiff in the lawsuit and asking for an injunction that would require him to return the documents. Meanwhile, Covenant parents are fighting the release.
I think the important thing to focus on as Covenant parents is that the last couple weeks have been very difficult for our families, and we have shown up here in solidarity today to support our kids and our families.
I'm just here for my family. It has been a really hard year. It's been a very challenging last 2 weeks.
They say to protect their children. The chancellor says while she was ready to issue her original ruling last week, she does plan to issue a new one on where we go from here. Reporting in Nashville, I'm Amanda Chin, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Well, this is not the first time someone leaked images of the shooter's journal. Late last year, pictures were posted by a popular podcaster. All of the images paint a similar picture. Audrey Hale wrote about battling mental health and feeling like she was born the wrong gender. 3 Covenant School students and 3 staffers died in the March 2023 shooting. Well, this legal battle, a topic of our question of the day today, and it's here on your screen, asking, should the Covenant shooter's writings be made public? We've had 725 people weighing in. 82.3% of respondents say yes. 17.7% say no. This poll is live right now. To cast your vote, you can scan the QR code on your screen or go over to our X page. Our handle is @FoxNashville.
And you can see all of our previous coverage on the legal battle and the shooting itself at fox17.com. Just search Covenant. All right, turning your weather, red hot out there today, but some people got a little break in the action.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see that again tomorrow, but unfortunately the heat's going to be with us for a while.
Humidity's pretty, up there too, seems like.
At least, yeah, through tomorrow I think we'll look at muggy conditions If there's a silver lining, which I'm always trying to find, it will be the fact that it does dry out a little bit for the middle of the week, but the temperature continues to rise, unfortunately. So we'll find little relief from that, and little relief overnight. And that's something I want to touch on here as we go through the overnight hours, not only for tomorrow morning, but for the entire week. We are looking at record lows in jeopardy here, and what we're talking about are the highest low temperatures recorded for a day. These all in jeopardy for the week. So think about that. We often talk about the record highs, which should be safe through at least Thursday, and then we're talking about record highs for the afternoon. But these record lows kind of give you a picture here on how hot we are talking. And we get summer heat and we do get stretches of warm weather, but we're starting to see this a lot more. And we're talking about the overnight lows here where we're getting little to no relief from the heat that we see in the afternoon. So even in the morning hours, we're looking at temperatures starting in the mid 70s here. That's the forecast low for Tuesday. The record is 73. So if we do see 74, we'll break that. So that's going to be what we're looking at for much of the week here. Unfortunately, the air conditioner is not going to get a lot of a break for us here. And those afternoon highs I mentioned too will be up there. We're looking at temperatures close to 100 as we head towards the weekend. And by Friday, we'll be talking about record highs as a possibility. The average line here in yellow. So really long stretch here of 90-degree heat very early in the season. It's not even officially summer until Thursday. Thursday will be the first day of summer. Overall, through Tuesday, we will continue to see this ridge here and an area of high pressure. That is what continues to bring us unseasonably warm weather for much of the eastern half of the U.S. Our temperature at 85 by 10 a.m. and looking at skies to remain partly to mostly cloudy, so another little silver lining there. At least we have a little bit more cloud cover around blocking us from that direct sunlight, but it will still feel quite toasty. So through tomorrow morning, you can see that we are looking at mostly cloudy skies. I do think the morning hours will be okay. As we get into the afternoon, though, maybe a spot shower or two, kind of like what we had today. And anything that forms will be capable of producing some pretty heavy pockets. You can actually feel it outside. It's really muggy. And that is just a case on how much water really is in the atmosphere. And so we will be looking at anything that rains to drop some heavy rainfall for us. But notice it's pretty isolated. Most of us should stay dry. This is through 8 p.m. And then going into early Wednesday morning, we'll start the day with a partly to mostly cloudy sky here as well. We'll talk more about what we can expect for the week here, when we might see a few more shower chances, and believe it or not, tropical season is here, and it looks like we will have our first named storm within 24 hours. We'll talk about it here coming up in just a bit.
I'm Kayla Gaskins on Capitol Hill. Coming up, Republicans raising concerns about non-citizen voting.
Hey there, hope you're having a great night. I'm Jennifer Waddell from Fox 17 News this morning. Listen, we know renting in the Nashville area is expensive, and owning a home can be expensive too, even after your mortgage.
New concerns tonight about non-citizens getting the opportunity to vote.
Fox 17 News' Kayla Gaskin shows us how welfare offices may be playing a role. And by the way, you can vote on this issue by scanning the QR code that will appear here shortly on your screen during this story.
As November gets closer, Republicans zeroing in on what they see as a problematic weak spot in the election system: non-citizens registering to vote. The New York Post reporting 49 U.S. states are giving out voter registration forms at welfare offices and other government agencies to migrants without asking for any proof of citizenship. Arizona banned the practice. This comes as some blue cities and states across the country are expanding voting to non-citizens in state and local elections.
Washington, D.C., New York, Maryland, California, and others have passed legislation to allow non-citizens to vote in elections. This causes a host of problems.
Non-citizens are not allowed to vote in federal elections. Republican Brian Stile led a House hearing on the issue last month.
Non-citizen voting reduces confidence in our elections.
Critics argue this issue is not widespread enough to deserve the attention it's getting from the GOP. A Heritage Foundation database shows only 85 cases of non-citizen voting allegations from 2002 to 2023. We spoke with the Campaign Legal Center's Lotta Knott.
Non-citizens attempting to vote, instances of that are very, very rare, and that's because it's a crime. The penalties for it include imprisonment, potential deportation. These are huge deterrents. And state election officials also have systems in place to verify voter eligibility.
Democrats say Republicans have other motives for pushing this issue.
The hearing isn't about law and order. It's about laying the foundation for the next big lie. It's about saying that illegal voting is the cause of an election defeat.
Republicans introduced a bill they say will clear up confusion about non-citizen voting, but even if it passes the GOP-controlled House, it faces a tough uphill battle in the Democrat-controlled Senate. On Capitol Hill, I'm Kayla Gaskins.
Well, during that story, we had a QR code linked up to this poll asking the question, do you think non-citizens should be able to vote in state and local elections? The results here on your screen, 1,450 people weighing in. An overwhelming 97.2% say no, non-citizens should not be able to vote in state and local elections. 2.8% said yes, they should. Thanks for voting.
Just add warning labels on social media sites, why the U.S. Surgeon General says they're needed and who he's trying. In health news tonight, U.S. Surgeon General Vivek Murthy wants Congress to require a tobacco-style warning for visitors to social media platforms. The nation's top doctor is worried about the negative impacts that social media has on mental health. And joining us now with more on that is Dr. Laura Anderson with the Center for Trauma Resolution and Recovery. Dr. Laura, thank you for doing this. The Surgeon General says these warnings are needed because of the growing mental health concerns and the crisis really among our young people. Do you share his concern?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. You know, I do, because the research that we're starting to see come out is pretty alarming. Not only are we seeing a rise in things like depression and anxiety, but we're also seeing an increase in things like emergency room visits, as well as an increase in things like self-harm and suicide. We're also seeing things like social media and time on our cell phones influence the way that young people are interacting with each other. We're seeing their attention spans be influenced, the way that they're sleeping, the way that they're interacting with others, and even having some addictive qualities, whether that's being addicted to actual things, such as maybe online gambling, as well as the ways that they are interacting with their phone and the amount of time that they're spending on them.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say young people aren't the only folks at risk for mental health issues associated with social media. Would I be right?
I absolutely think you're correct. I think that no matter what age you are, you can very much be all consumed with your phone. But when we're looking at the way that young people's brains are easily influenced, I think that's the reason that we're seeing this warning label come up as something that might be something that's useful. Young people, adolescents, and children are more easily influenced, which is the reason why I think we're seeing this push for a warning label. But that's not to suggest that people of any age couldn't be influenced depending on the amount of time that they're spending on social media, as well as the type of content that they are consuming, and the types of influences that they might have around them.
How do I know if my child is addicted to social media, and what do I do if they are?
Well, I'm going to say that this is not just for children, this is for anybody, but one of the things that I would say to anyone is what happens if you take it away or decrease the use of it. So try cutting back just a little bit. Maybe it is a full weekend without social media. I know there's so many of us that would say, no, there's no way that I could be addicted to social media. And yet the moment that we try to take it away, even for a half a day or an hour, and we find ourselves not knowing what to do with it, that anxiety actually does rise because we don't know what's going on in the outside world. And so giving ourselves opportunities to try to decrease it little by little can be really, really helpful. There's great apps out there that help us with blocking off our time, whether that is automatically shutting apps off after using them for a certain amount of time, or setting it so that certain times of the day or evening our apps automatically turn off. I also encourage people to spend time outside and get face-to-face with people. That's something that we're missing a lot of now when we're spending time, on a screen. So get in front of people, get outside, and try cutting back that time on your screen incrementally and see if that can help.
Some good information here. Dr. Laura Anderson, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
An update now on an amusement park ride in Portland, Oregon that left people dangling upside down after it got stuck. On Saturday, the Atmosphere ride getting stuck there in midair, leaving riders hanging upside down for half an hour. Oh, man. Well, once the ride was fixed, they were able to get off the ride. One of them talked about the whole ordeal.
I heard like screaming, crying, just pleas for help. It was like really discomforting. Gravity was pulling me down, but the seat was keeping me in, so everything was pressuring me against like the harness that was coming over me. So I can still feel soreness in my arms and my hips from that. My face has never, I don't usually look like this. These aren't freckles. They're bursted blood vessels in my face.
A representative for the park said that there are no updates on exactly what caused that malfunction.
Tomorrow morning is going to be a warm one as we start off with mostly cloudy sky. The cloud cover, though, helping to play a role in keeping our temperatures quite mild for the start of the day. So 7 a.m. only at 75 degrees. May need to go for an iced coffee rather than a hot coffee. 78 at 8 o'clock and up to about 81 by 9. And we'll keep skies partly to mostly cloudy as we go through much of the afternoon. Overall highs here look to be in those 90s, low 90s likely for us here with, again, that partly to mostly cloudy sky here. Others touching the upper 80s to around 90 for the afternoon. And UV index will be a story that we talk about for quite a bit for the week ahead here in that moderate to high category. Burn time, I would say between 20, maybe 25 minutes, but more likely 20 for tomorrow. And we'll see that UV index climb as we head towards the middle to late part of the work week. We'll talk more about the tropics. It looks like we will have our first named storm by within the next 24 hours, I'd even say, where it is and who could be impacted here in the U.S. It's in your Fox 17 Code Red forecasts.
What do we actually know about undocumented immigrants living in the United States? I'm Christine Frizzell with One Reason Concerns Are Mounting.
But a suspect is in custody.
Now that's right, but officers say he's an illegal immigrant who is also suspected of committing a murder in El Salvador. Fox 17 News' Christine Frizzell now to show us how he got here and how he was somehow able to stay so long.
Some of the points during this, I didn't think that we were ever going to have an end. That it was
a grieving mother on a growing list of grieving mothers. Her daughter, Rachel Morin, a Maryland mother of 5, brutally murdered last August while exercising outside.
1,800 miles from the southern border, and this is the second woman in our county to be killed by an illegal alien.
Victor Antonio Martinez Hernandez was just arrested in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He is also the suspect in a murder of a young woman in El Salvador. Officials say he committed just before fleeing to the United States.
Victor Hernandez did not come here to make a better life for himself or for his family. He came here to escape the crime he committed in El Salvador. He came here and murdered Rachel, and God willing, no one else.
We have been told time and time again by top officials with the Department of Homeland Security in this administration and other administrations that when people come into this country that they are vetted. It doesn't seem like that's the case here.
The majority of individuals that are coming into our country illegally, it's the first time they've been to this country. So we're not going to have anything on them. Even those individuals that we do encounter, there are many countries that we don't have diplomatic relationships with these countries. So we're not getting any criminal information or national security information from those countries.
Still, research shows undocumented immigrants are 60% less likely to be incarcerated than U.S.-born men. But there are growing concerns future attacks could be more large-scale, with warnings would-be terrorists may already be hiding in plain sight.
As we collect
collectively across the intelligence community and with our partners less information about foreign terrorists overseas, there's less information to be had about who the people coming into this country are.
1 week after FBI Director Chris Wray's warning, 8 suspected terrorists with ties to ISIS were arrested on U.S. soil. I'm Christine Frizzell reporting.
Coming up, we'll talk more about the tropics. It looks like our first named storm of the season is on its way, where it is now, and who could be impacted here in the U.S.
And speaking
Some worry the transit improvement plan will only worsen the issues that are already there by opening up bus services 24/7. So what's your response to that?
Operation Crime and Justice tonight. National Mayor Freddie O'Connell responding to growing concerns about safety on WeGo buses and their property.
Well, it's a story that we've been following for weeks, and tonight Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker pressing the mayor for answers.
That's right. I've been following this story for the past couple of months. I've reported on assaults, stabbings, and shootings. One of those shootings happened just 200 feet away from me. Now, since all of this, I've spoken to countless people who tell me at this point they're just fed up.
These headlines at the center of concerns coming from both the passengers and the bus drivers at WeGo. City leaders say some of this can be resolved through Mayor Freddie O'Connell's $6.9 billion transportation improvement plan, which also targets public safety.
It's going to provide dedicated funding, and we're one of 4 cities out of the top 50 cities that doesn't have this.
But Fox 17 News viewers now reaching out, expressing their reservations with the plan, saying it might even, quote, make transit crime even worse, creating a, quote, target-rich environment for criminals in the early morning hours.
Some worry the transit improvement plan will only worsen the issues that are already there by opening up bus services 24/7. So what's your response to that?
The transportation improvement program we've proposed actually has built into it security funding that will increase security presence.
WeGo already spends over $2.4 million in security services. But as I showed you last week, we saw little to no security presence while down there. Although WeGo says they have guards we can't see who are monitoring cameras inside.
Sometimes when I go out there, there's not a very strong security presence. Would that bring that presence outside?
I think ultimately you want to have both elements. You want to make sure that you're kind of having that real-time monitoring impact, but you do, I think, get some benefit from having presence.
The mayor's office also says through this Choose How You Move proposal, security systems will be upgraded, and they'll also build relationships with MMPD and social services.
Keep in mind, at tomorrow night's Metro Council meeting, city leaders will hear that first reading of the Transportation Improvement Plan. Now, if passed by city leaders, this will then be on the November ballot for voters to decide. For now, reporting downtown, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Now here's a graph that shows WeGo buses and the Star train ridership from 2007 until the time of the pandemic. You can see the numbers pretty much going up every year. Now here's 2020. That's the pandemic number. Huge drop off. We certainly understand why. Now there has been a slight decrease the next year and then a slight increase, but the numbers really haven't gone up all that much. And part of the reason could be because of a national trend that shows a decline in the number of people who are taking public transit.
An update now on our viewer poll, which we posted on our X page, telling you about this earlier in the newscast. We asked, should the Covenant shooters' writings be made public? 768 people weighing in, 82.7% of respondents say yes, 17.3% say no. This poll is live right now. There's still time to cast your vote. Just scan the QR code right there on the right hand of your screen. It will take you to our X page. Our handle's at Fox Nashville, and we'll show you updated poll results tonight on Fox 17 News at 10. All right, Katie, a few pop-up showers, hit or miss for a lot of folks here.
Yeah.
Wondering what tomorrow will bring.
I know, pretty much the same thing, actually, as far as the hit and miss showers go. A lot of us should stay dry, but we'll be looking
rinse
at
and
the
repeat.
heat. Yeah, pretty much. So with that, I thought we'd maybe hit on something a little different tonight. The fact that tropical season is upon us, and we have our first
potential tropical cyclone. So this is now basically what the National Hurricane Center will put out before they start naming it or becomes a tropical depression. But this is when it is likely to become the next named storm. So this is a look at the satellite. This is where we are looking right here throughout the Gulf. And here's Mexico for perspective, and then the Yucatan Peninsula right here. So right off the coast of the Yucatan Peninsula, and we are going to be looking at this cluster of showers and thunderstorms to likely increase in coverage. Now, the latest advisory has just come out, so this is 10 p.m. advisory. Movement to the north at 7 miles per hour, pressure down to 99, and looking at 40-mile-per-hour winds at the moment here. So we'll put the latest track in from the National Hurricane Center, and forgive me, it just came out, so I would have otherwise kind of cleaned this up a little bit, but still the track is showing about the same here, so it takes it into the coast of Mexico as a potential, or as a tropical storm, and then will dissipate once it makes landfall. Now, with it being just south of Texas, the potential for flooding is going to be a big problem for a lot of folks, stretching from Corpus Christi on up to Houston and really to the border of Louisiana here. So this is a look at the potential for flooding in the major category, and this is all due to surge, along with a lot of rainfall that this system is already experiencing right now. So we take a look at what we could see as far as potential rainfall between now and 7 days from now. Corpus Christi approaching 7, even 8 inches, maybe 10 inches of rainfall. That looks to be where the bullseye is. So flooding concerns for folks around the Galveston area, Corpus Christi up to Houston, along the Texas coastline here. So that is something for us in the U.S. we will be watching closely over the next several days here. Now, Alberto will be the name that it will be given if it does become tropical storm, which does look like it'll become Alberto. This is a look at the entire list for 2024. I'll give you a minute. If you have friends or family with one of these names, snap a photo. You can send it their way. But Alberto, again, will be the first one of the list for 2024. Expected to be a pretty active hurricane season, too, by the way. 92 our temperature here for Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursday up to 96. Thursday, the first day of summer. And by Friday, it'll be feeling more like summer. Highs in the upper 90s, close to 100. Maybe a stray storm as we head into tomorrow and then by the weekend.
Just ahead, using honeybees to In health news tonight, honeybees may be good for more than just pollinating plants. Researchers at Michigan State University found they can also detect lung cancer in human breath. They say bees can detect breath containing chemicals associated with lung cancer, as well as recognizing various types of lung cancer. Researchers say this can help to lead to earlier and more specific diagnoses and treatment. Lung cancer is the leading cause of cancer-related deaths in the world.
In your business news, McDonald's pumping the brakes on its AI drive-through experiment. The fast food chain tested new artificial intelligence to take orders at over 100 locations, but it did not receive high marks, and many customers complained about receiving the wrong orders. The 2-year pilot program wraps up next month, but McDonald's said it will likely reintroduce AI-powered drive-throughs at some point in the future.
Taking another run at bump stocks, the new effort to outlaw them in this country and why it's necessary.
Feinert.
Well, it appears the legal battle over bump stocks in America is not over.
You may remember, as we told you last week, the Supreme Court struck down a ban on bump stocks. The court's conservative majority ruled former President Trump administration oversteps its authority when it banned the firearm attachment, which allows semi-automatic weapons essentially to perform like machine guns.
Well, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer today says the Senate will try to pass a national ban this week.
I urge my Republican colleagues not to block Senator Heinrich when he comes to the floor. Most Americans support this step. Poll after poll show that a majority of people, including independents, support restrictions on AR-15 style rifles, which is what bump stocks are designed to emulate.
The gun accessory gained notoriety after being used during a mass shooting in Las Vegas in 2017. 60 people died and hundreds were injured.
For months now, we've been sharing Steve's story, the latest update on his road and recovery with prostate cancer. I'm Liz Bonus. What he wants every guy to know, it is just ahead.
The Surgeon General says social media should be treated like cigarettes with a warning label. I'm Atrell Nashar in Washington with the science behind his argument coming up.
This is Fox 17 News at 10, your Code Red station.
We begin with continuing coverage on issues for tenants at Plaza Mariachi, the South Nashville complex, home to several small culturally diverse businesses.
Well, the owners of those businesses say that they're losing money because of their landlord's problems. Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar joining us live in front of Strikeout Wings to tell us what they've been dealing with because of this.
The co-owners of Strikeout Wings here behind me at Plaza Mariachi tell me that their sales have been dropping weekly. They tell me that their business used to be popular and now it has empty seats. This is a business that beat the odds, including surviving during the pandemic. The owners tell me they have taken a blow because of the issues of the owner of Plaza Mariachi. They tell me this includes his indictment, which started everything, then now the notice of a foreclosure. Chinar Tucker, one of the co-owners of Strikeout Wings, tells me she doesn't know what to expect come early July when it is set to foreclose.
Everything is froze. Everything. We don't know what to do, honestly. We don't know what's going to happen.
I reached out to the owner of Plaza Mariachi, and he says he will let everyone know what his arrangements will be in a couple of weeks. We're working to confirm whether or not he will stay open. Reporting live here in South Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Well, you might be wondering, where is Plaza Mariachi located? It's here in South Nashville, along Nolensville Pike. This is just north of Harding Place. Not only does it feature a mall, but there's a live music venue on the property as well. In all, it makes up about 70,000 square feet.
Transparency and the equal treatment of residents.
Tracking the economy tonight, some Antioch homeowners are fighting for answers after they say their HOA, the Homeowners Association, fees went up 75% over the past 7 months. And they say that spike, if you would, is driving some people out of the neighborhood. Fox 17 News' Caitlin Miller now live at the state capitol, where some of these homeowners have turned for help.
Scott, we spoke with some homeowners today who say that they went to state representatives to try to get some clarity on their HOA fees, which they say have increased quite a bit over the last year. Now, they say that no action was taken, but they say it isn't going to stop them from fighting for a change. A group of homeowners at Lennox Creekside Condominium in Antioch are furious about their HOA fees. Bill Bartalovich says that his HOA fees went from $145 at the beginning of 2023 to $255 now. Homeowner Michael McLendon says that they want to see where their money is going, and they say there hasn't been an election for the board in the last 8 years.
The fact that we have an unelected board and an individual that lives off property who owns some rental units essentially is the person that controls the board.
Fox 17 News reached out to the HOA board president of their complex to see what he has to say about this, but we have not heard back yet. Now, the homeowners say that they're not going to give up and they're going to continue to fight until their voices are heard. Reporting live from the state capitol, I'm Caitlin Miller, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Continuing coverage on the legal battle to make the Covenant school shooters' writings public. Several groups are suing for their release. But the process has taken a turn. The judge in the lawsuit called an emergency hearing after the Tennessee Star posted descriptions of what's inside those journals following a leak. The Tennessee Star, part of the lawsuit, so the judge is now looking at if the online publication is in contempt for those articles.
I don't want reporters going to jail for doing lawful reporting. That's why we were here today. That's what we were concerned about.
I think the important thing to focus on as Covenant parents is that the last couple weeks have been very difficult for our families, and we have shown up here in solidarity today to support our kids and our families.
Well, the judge did not make a ruling today.
Continuing coverage now, the court documents ahead of today's hearings pointed the finger at a retired Metro Police lieutenant as the person who leaked the documents. Well, Fox 17 News sat down with that retired Lieutenant Garrett Davidson after the hearing this afternoon and asked him if he leaked the shooter's journals.
It's obvious that there's an effort to, for one, ameliorate the department's responsibility in this matter as it is a party in this lawsuit, Metro government, with the open records case as it pertains to the covenant documents. So I think that's one of the purposes for that whole thing being written up.
The legal battle we've laid out is the topic of the Fox 17 News question of the day. So far, 782 of you have responded to the question of whether the Covenant school shooter's writings should be made public. A full 83% say yes, we think they should. 17% say no, and you could cast your vote if you'd like by scanning the QR code there on the right-hand side of your screen. It will link you to our X page. Our handle is @FoxNashville. And you can see all of our coverage on this legal battle as well as the school shooting itself at fox17.com. Just search Covenant.
Hot one today. We reached 93 this afternoon. Yesterday, the hottest temperatures so far of 2024, reaching 98 degrees. And still, we are looking at a few showers and storms out there. We had a few this afternoon, dropped some heavy rain. These storms have been riding the Tennessee River, and that's where we continue to track. Pretty potent storm here, non-severe, but dropping some heavy rain through Camden and headed towards even the outside of Waverly here. And we'll continue to, again, move up the river as we head through the next hour. But as we head through the overnight, we will start to see things quiet down. We're left with a mostly cloudy sky for the overnight hours. Live look here, South Nashville camera looking good from downtown. I mentioned the temperature staying quite mild. We're in the mid to lower 80s here in Nashville. Areas outside of city centers closer to the mid to upper 70s. We will continue to see very mild conditions for the overnight. And that'll bring us little to no relief as we head through the overnight hours here, right around 74 to 75 in Nashville, Murfreesboro to Clarksville, low 70s, Cookeville, Crossville, Tullahoma at 72, Dickson right around 71. We'll talk about the heat. That is definitely the trend of the week when we could reach close to 100 coming up in your Fox 17 Code Red forecast.
Well, afraid just to take the bus?
Sometimes when I go out there, there's not a very strong security presence. They're mostly in the back, kind of monitoring the computers. Would that bring that presence outside?
In Operation Crime and Justice, Fox 17 News taking concerns about WeGo safety to the Nashville mayor. Those who take the bus say they simply don't feel safe. This comes after we've reported on a series of shootings and stabbings on WeGo property. And while city leaders are touting the mayor's transportation improvement plan, some bus riders feel that this could only make matters worse. They worry about service expanding into the overnight hours.
Some worry the transit improvement plan will only worsen the issues that are already there by opening up bus services 24/7. So what's your response to that?
The transportation improvement program we've proposed actually has built into it security funding that will increase security presence both at transit centers like WeGo Central.
Metro Council will take up the transportation improvement plan for the first time tomorrow night. If city leaders pass it, the plan will be on the ballot in November. Fox 17 News has been highlighting issues with crime on WeGo property for months now. You can see all of our previous reporting at fox17.com. Just search WeGo.
Continuing with Operation Crime and Justice as the White House pushes for change following 4 mass shootings over the weekend. 2 people died in the gunfire. Almost 40 others are hurting. The White House says it's time for Congress to step up. President Biden has already taken more than 24 executive actions on gun violence.
He's done the work from this side of Pennsylvania. He wants to see Congress also move forward because the way to actually deal with gun violence is through legislation.
The president says he wants to close the gun show loophole and see a ban on assault weapons. Republicans say, however, that this steps all over the Second Amendment. Congress did pass a bill in 2022 increasing background checks and provided more funding for mental health treatment. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is drafting a bill to ban bump stocks after the Supreme Court struck down a Trump-era ban. Bump stocks essentially allow semi-automatic weapons to fire like fully automatic weapons. But Senator Schumer's bill has a tough road ahead.
If God forbid you lost your child tomorrow and they're under the age of 18, the most likely reason in this country right now would be because they were shot.
I would suggest before we infringe on the rights of law-abiding American citizens, we should crack down on violent crime and gun crimes.
President Biden is calling on Congress to again ban these devices, the bump stocks. The original ban happened in 2017 following the Las Vegas massacre.
The Surgeon General says social media should be treated like cigarettes with a warning label. I'm Autral Nashar in Washington with the science behind his argument coming up.
And coming up, we'll talk more about our heat that is around for much of the week, when we might see a few showers headed our way in your Fox 17 Code Red forecast.
Hey there, hope you're having a great night. I'm Jennifer Waddell from Fox 17 News this morning. Listen, we know renting in the Nashville area is expensive, and owning a home can be expensive too, even after you're.
Goldman Sachs is more optimistic about how the stock market will end the year. It has raised its year-end target for the S&P 500. Goldman says the change reflects strong earnings from top tech companies. Starbucks' new pairings menu has left some customers questioning where the value is. The deal ranges from $5 to $7 and features a combo of a tall-size iced coffee or tea along with a croissant or breakfast sandwich. People are slamming the deal online asking, how is this a meal box? They mean a pastry and a coffee. A user on X saying if a third item were added, then it would be a value meal. And finally, money talks. Gen Z is reportedly the most optimistic about money right now, unlike older generations. A new study from TransUnion finding people ages 11 to 26 feel the most optimistic about their financial futures. 55% of all Americans in the study saying they feel optimistic about their wages in the next year and are expecting raises. More than 60% of Gen Zers citing that optimism compared to less than half of Gen X and baby boomers.
Most 22 to 26-year-olds are living at home. They have a lot of discretionary income because they're working a job and they're able to invest it because they don't have any expenses.
Financial experts say young job seekers are heading into a hot labor market and are starting to save earlier than other generations did. That's business. CJ Papa, Fox News.
In consumer news, you could soon see social media sites being treated just like alcohol and cigarettes. That is, they would come with a warning label.
Well, the Surgeon General pushing for this to protect teenagers and children. Fox 17 News' Autral Nashar explains the message to parents.
It's an emergency endangering our most vulnerable, and it fits in the palm of their hand. Surgeon General Vivek Murthy says the harms posed by social media to teens warrant a warning label stating what it can do to their mental health. It's a move that requires action from Congress.
There's growing evidence of harm. It shows us, in fact, that when adolescents spend more than 3 hours a day on social media, we're seeing an association with a doubling of risk of anxiety and depression symptoms.
A real and present danger, considering the average teen spends almost 5 hours on social media each day, according to Gallup. Parents have been pressing lawmakers to address this for years. It's not uncommon to see them on Capitol Hill lobbying for change. Back in February, we caught up with Naveen Radwan between her meetings with lawmakers. The California mom of 3 almost lost her teenage daughter to an eating disorder.
I know for a fact that the trigger for her was social media.
As for the social media companies, they generally favor regulation at the App Store level and also provide tools and tips for parents to monitor their child's use. What do you make of the argument that this is on parents at the end of the day?
It's not. I put every single restriction available on those phones for my kids. I made sure they didn't get phones until after they were 13.
Many children are on social media well before they turn 13. New Wall Street Journal reporting highlights just how exposed young girls are to grown men. They detail an account of an unnamed mom in the Midwest who supervised her influencer daughter's Instagram account, which at one point had more than 100,000 followers, about 92% of whom were male. Meta shut down the account in a matter of months. Lawmakers, parents, the social media companies themselves agree more needs to be done to make these platforms safer. There's just no consensus on how. A simple warning label could be a start. The moral test of any society is how well it protects its children, the Surgeon General writes. We have the expertise, resources, and tools to make social media safe for our kids. Now is the time to summon the will to act. Our children's well-being is at stake. In Washington, I'm Atrell Nishar reporting.
The heat continues much of the week here. In fact, we're looking at temperatures close to record highs as we head towards the end of the week. For much of the week, though, we'll be looking at the potential for record lows. So this is something that it's a little concerning just because of the stretch of 90-degree days. We've had 4 in a row already, and now we're looking at overnight lows not giving us any relief from the afternoon heat. So the forecast for tomorrow morning is 74. The record highest low temperature recorded, 73, set back in 1876, a long-standing record, and it's in danger of being broken for tomorrow. And really for the rest of the week here, we're looking at those lows to be, if not over the record low, but near it. So that is something we'll be watching here. And then, of course, we get into the afternoon and those temperatures will soar into the 90s, upper 90s, close to 100 degrees as we head towards Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. For perspective, here's our average high, which is about 88 for this time of year. So looking to be well above that all week long. Now, a lot of this is due to the high pressure that is off to our east here. Big ridge of it building in, and this ridge will hang with us for a couple of days and then build east. Which will again put us in that sweet spot for some unseasonably warm weather as we head towards the end of the work week. Tuesday temperatures right around 85. That's at 10 o'clock in the morning, up to about 91 by about 2-3 o'clock. We'll look for a partly to mostly cloudy sky for much of the day. That does hang with us. It may actually, too, offer us a chance for a few showers as we go through the afternoon as well. So let's walk you through that here. Don't want to skip over that. 6 a.m. you can see mostly cloudy skies. We get into the afternoon and there will be a few pop-up showers and storms. These will be non-severe, but they'll be very much like what we had today. Some heavy pockets of rain, a lot of lightning, and maybe a quick gust of wind. But notice how isolated they are as we go through the afternoon. This is 2. And then into the evening hours, most of that looks to be along and north of I-40, probably to a little west of 65. And then as we get into early Wednesday morning, looking at things to quiet down once again, where we'll look at the heat to remain the big story for us. So again, looking at temperatures tonight will be around 74, near record lows for tonight. Will be a stuffy night too. I expect the humidity to stick around for tomorrow. It does dry out a little by midweek, but tomorrow is definitely feeling stuffy for us here. High around 92 degrees, heat index values in those mid to upper 90s. And then we get into the middle of the week here. You can see that temperatures climb. First official day of summer coming in on Thursday, and highs near 90 as we head towards the weekend. We'll look at very little chance for rain, maybe a few pop-ups as we head towards Sunday and Monday.
Well, the war in Gaza costing law enforcement in the U.S. What the numbers show.
Nearly 22 million children living in America rely on schools for their meals. Fox 17 News and our parent company, Sinclair Broadcasting, are partnering with Feed America.
Well, the war between Israel and Hamas costing law enforcement here in the U.S.
Now, student protests are getting the blame for that. Fox 17 News' Angela Brown breaking down the surprising numbers from a single university.
UCLA's graduation ceremony over the weekend smooth for the most part. No major disruptions from protesters over the war in Gaza. Extra security on standby as well. A stark difference from just days earlier. 27 people arrested just last week after setting up a number of pro-Palestinian encampments on UCLA's campus. UCLA sent out this statement right here saying those demonstrations resulted in violence, destruction of property, and the blocking of student access to parts of campus. Disruptions on UCLA's campus is coming with a price tag. The college watchdog group Camps Reform is reporting that the LAPD spent over $580,000 responding to recent student protests at UCLA.
Resources were taken away from the community and deliberately wasted, and taxpayers are now the ones who are left to foot this bill.
Back on the East Coast, New York Mayor Eric Adams may agree. Back in May, Adams said Columbia University should help pay for the cost of having the NYPD crack down on college protesters. In Washington, D.C., I'm Angela Brown.
For months now, we've been sharing Steve's story, the latest update on his road and recovery with prostate cancer. I'm Liz Bonus. What he wants every guy to know, it is just ahead.
Fox 17 News Health Alert tonight about high-tech radiation therapy and how it is helping people who are living with cancer essentially get more targeted treatments.
Well, Fox 17 News Liz Bonus shows us the unique way that it's helping a long-term survivor.
Hey there, everybody, with the latest update today on Steve's story. He's been in treatment for prostate cancer, you may recall, and his medical team told me he's been quite the inspiration along the way.
So today I'm going to have my 6th radiation treatment in a series of 10.
For more than a decade, Steve Abbott has been doing everything possible to stay one step ahead of this disease.
The idea behind that is to try to bring down some inflammation around my spinal cord that we've recently found from some tumors that are pressing on my spinal cord.
Here at Ohio's University of Cincinnati Cancer Center, the team has customized Steve's radiation care.
So this is actually Steve's CAT scan right here. His spine is in the middle.
With the help of what's called dosimetry.
Dosimetry is where we actually create a computer model of Steve, and then our physicists and our medical dosimetrists will develop a radiation plan that allow these machines to do their work.
Dr. Timothy Struve told me these are the kind of advances that now allow his team to target precisely what Steve needs to continue to celebrate more milestones. Steve and his wife Diana celebrated their 40th anniversary this month.
So this is it's an important place. It's an important place for me.
To this team, however, Steve is the most important member.
And we're all so lucky to be in Steve's presence.
You see, as Dr. Bill Barrett points out, no matter how tough it gets, Steve always moves forward. This week, Steve says the silver lining, while his spine pain goes down, he gets to ride this really cool scooter.
He is an absolute inspiration to everybody around him, and he keeps fighting, and we'll keep fighting with him.
We will, of course, continue to share Steve's story as we learn more, but he hopes if you're a guy watching this, you'll ask your doctor about your own risk for prostate or any other cancer. With your health news, I'm Liz Bonus reporting.
Gonna be hot. That's all I can say about that.
I thought you were holding cards for a minute there about what's she going to say.
Yeah, I know. Maybe a stray shower for tomorrow, heavy rain.